Happy Star Wars Day, everybody. It's been a minute. It's been a hot minute since we've been on this channel talking Star Wars, but I mean, you can't skip May the Force be with you, right? Like, we got to do a show, and we have a bajillion things to talk about. But before we get into it, let's start with a little housekeeping. If you have not subscribed to the channel already, please do so. Please like this video, leave a comment, tell your friends, all that good stuff. We really appreciate it. We appreciate your support as always. Guys, it's been a long time. Before we get into the trailer, obviously, all of the news that we've missed within the last, like 6 weeks since we've done a show. Like, it might be a longer one, but I'm really, really excited. I'm just going to throw this out there. Do you have a favorite Star Wars Day memory? Any of you? Like, anything specifically you remember?
2 years ago for me. That's actually there's two. One's 2 years ago. It's about 4 years ago. So for the one, my friend Albert's birthday. He's the fight choreographer on the fan film Nick and I made, Rise of Ren. We had a surprise birthday party for him because his birthday is May the 1st. So on May the 4th, he thought we were all coming together for Star Wars Day, and we ended up celebrating his birthday in celebration of Star Wars Day at the same time, and that was really fun. And then 2 years ago, at my buddy Brian's house, we just did an all-day marathon and introduced our friend Nico to Clone Wars and everything. Like, we ended up watching the last 4 episodes of Clone Wars Season 7 because, of course, the last episode aired on May the 4th. So that was just really cool and fun to do, even though the world was kind of shut down. So
cool. For me, not really anything, crazy. I remember one day in high school when I first started to see, like, on the internet, like, May the 4th was this big thing. I remember going into that day, I was like, man, I don't think I want to go to school today. Like, it's Star Wars Day. I'm gonna stay home and I'm gonna watch Star Wars all day. And that's what I did. I just sat at home on May the 4th and watched Star Wars all day. My parents didn't care. They're like, you get good grades, you know what you're doing. Like, take your day to yourself and watch Star Wars all day. And it was a blast. So that's one that'll always stick out to me. Colin, what about you?
It's just a day to watch Star Wars for me. Like, for a lot of it, it's really buying stuff, I guess. And that comes more of like Force Fridays, like before the movies. So those kind of stick out more. Going to the stores and trying to dig around for stuff. Talk to me in a week. I might have a different answer for you.
I mean, I saw something on Twitter today that made me laugh. And it basically said that Star Wars Day is for everyone else, and then every day for us, like us geeks, right? Every day Star Wars Day. Like, we're always talking about it, we're always reading about it, we're always watching it. I mean, that's kind of true, but I like, the internet having a dedicated day to just sharing, their favorite Star Wars memories, cosplays, all that fun stuff. So this day will always hold a special place in my heart, and I like that Lucasfilm and, the PR team over there, like, really took it serious this year. I love the interaction with the Star Wars Twitter, just like replying on everybody's tweets talking about, their Star Wars experience as fans and stuff, because I feel like they haven't done that in the past, and then dropping the trailer, which is a perfect segue. They dropped the trailer on May the 4th. Like, that was perfect. And we kind of all saw it coming. It lines up perfectly from when the show is going to air in a few weeks. So let's just get into the trailer, guys. Colin, you said, quote, in our group text that it was mid. I need you to elaborate on that, please, because I kind of agree.
Oh, okay. I thought you needed me to explain to you what mid was, and I was that's not the show for this, Toby. That holiday was a couple weeks ago. No, it's just like I feel underwhelmed, but I think that's intentional because Kevin Feige literally came out last night at the Doctor Strange premiere and was like, you know what, maybe we put a little too much in our trailers. I was like, yes, Kevin, maybe you did. And I think they've learned because a lot of it's just a little expanded upon shots from what I probably assume are the first 2 episodes. So I'm probably going to check out for the rest of the ad campaign and pop in on the 27th because I'm good. I get it. I understand what's happening. And the more I see, the more I'm just going to get it. And at this point, I'd rather just watch the show.
No, I am 1000% on your side with this. Obviously, when the trailer dropped, I stopped everything I was doing. I was at work, and I was like, "Leave me alone for 2 minutes. Let me watch this thing." And I watched it. In the first 25 seconds or so is just stuff from the first trailer. So I'm like, "Oh, interesting choice." And then a very weird shift into a conversation between Obi-Wan and Uncle Owen, and then you're already seeing that kind of dynamic where Obi-Wan's like, "The boy must be trained," and Owen's like, "No, like why would I let you train him?" Like,
he does
what happened to
pimp
his
slap
dad?
him with the just like his dad.
Yeah,
Like,
that was hurtful.
that was
That
pretty
offended
good.
me.
I
And
like
like,
that.
let alone I want.
I was like,
about that.
I mean, you guys saw I did the reaction first. I'm like, damn, the shade. Like that was just the shade of all shade that could be said.
That was pretty great.
But I was there for it. I loved it.
Yeah, but other than that short little interaction, which was kind of a good, I think it was a good idea for this trailer to kind of set the scene of what we're getting ourselves into with these probably first episodes, maybe first couple episodes. Seeing the dynamic between Obi-Wan and Uncle Owen, obviously getting a little bit more of the Inquisitors. We got a lot of good shots of the Grand Inquisitor. That makes me feel a lot more comfortable about the look of the character. I understand the internet has just lost its mind about the first trailer and how he looks chubby and it doesn't look accurate, whatever. I was never like going crazy about it, but I understood people's concerns. This trailer to me gave me a lot more confidence that they know what they're doing, and the character looks fine. He looks super beefy. Like, I like the build of the Grand Inquisitor here. It just makes him a lot more menacing compared to what we saw in Rebels. Because in Rebels, everyone's a beanpole. Like, they're all just super skinny, which is part of the aesthetic for that show. But having the Grand Inquisitor be this big, strong guy just makes him that more scary and more of a challenge for Obi-Wan and whoever else shows up.
I think he looks tubby. I can't help it.
You think he looks tubby? Okay, fine. Fair
he
enough.
looks puffy.
Yeah,
Matt?
Last time I saw my guy, like, he looked all right. Like, now it looks like he just got back from an all-you-can-eat cruise. He can't help it. Like,
man, Colin's just like, you know what? Today I choose violence.
oh, hell yeah. Manchester City lost to Real Madrid in the 90th minute. They were up 2 goals and allowed 3 goals and 2 goals in 2 minutes, took it to overtime, and lost in the 5th minute of overtime. It was a terrible day. I'm here to cause violence. So today.
My one takeaway, though, from this trailer, honestly, like, again, some cool new shots. The ending was very, very cool.
Yes.
Which we'll get into in a second. But Purge Troopers are in the show. Thank you, guys. I was a little worried after the first trailer that regular stormtroopers are marching around with our Inquisitors. I'm like, where's the black and purple guys? Like, I love that design so much, and we all know how much I love Jedi Fallen Order, and it just made sense for them to be there. And I'm so glad we got confirmation in this trailer that they are there, and hopefully we see them in action. That'll make me very, very happy. Anything else?
Purge Troopers? Did I miss this?
It's real quick, but they're there.
Yeah, it's quick, but I missed it the first time.
How quick? Like, when?
Matt, if you want to pull it up real quick, and I'm
watching it right now.
Filibuster. Oh, you got it pulled up. Okay.
What's up, Brennan?
But no, other than the Purge Trooper thing, and then the last shot and Vader breathing and everything, it was a cool trailer. It didn't give away really anything else. We saw Kumail Nanjiani's character. We still don't really know who he's playing.
By the
way, he's not playing the droid.
Yeah, no, he's not playing the droid. Which you want to know who that makes? And I said this in the reaction earlier. You want to know who that tells me the droid is? O'Shea Jackson Jr. Because he's the one person we know from the cast who we haven't seen yet, and we know he's in it. So, and we've heard a key role. So we're seeing this droid, and we saw the droid fighting today. I was like, oh, this is, if Camille's not human, that's O'Shea. Period.
I mean, yeah, that's a good take. But I guess we can get into the last kind of shot of them putting Vader together.
Oh,
and then the breathing. Shit. That was so sick. And I love the tease.
You didn't have to show us anything else. Still in everything as the arms are getting screwed in. I was like, yo,
because we've never really seen that. Like, maybe we've seen a little bit of it in like the comic books, but like seeing how Vader gets his day started, like he's like probably sleeps in the back to tank, if he even sleeps. I would assume he probably doesn't. And then he gets pulled out, and then it's he gets armored, like he gets his arms put on, his legs put on, his chest thing put on, and then eventually, I'm sure the big shot of that episode will be him putting the helmet on, us seeing Hayden's face for the first time. I love the tease. They didn't show us too much. Right? What's that?
That'll be the end of episode 2.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's fair.
Inquisitors will have to report back. Obi-Wan will be in a tough situation at the end of episode 1. Oh no, how's he gonna get out of it? And he's gonna get out of it, and then he's gonna beat him, and then they're gonna like it's gonna be some other Obi-Wan thing, and then them going back and being like, "Oh shit, we didn't get him," and then here comes Vader. Like, yeah, it's gonna be sick.
And I love too.
That's why they were like, "We'll give you 2."
Right. And no, they know what they're doing. It's just
they're not an hour long each. At least I'm gonna riot.
Here's the thing. So it puts me.
You watch Moon Knight? That shit today was 42 minutes.
I've not watched it yet. I haven't watched it yet.
But Moon Knight is a little bit different than Kenobi. I had no expectations going into Moon Knight. I have expectations with the Star Wars television.
Disney Plus does not give a shit about how long you want things to be.
So here's my situation for that Friday, right? My plan was to, within the past week or so, before I went on vacation, was my plan. I was just going to use another vacation day for that day and just take the day off, right? I get back from the weekend before I left, and on the calendar, my boss is taking that day off. Right?
Should have taken it, Toby.
So me taking the day off is off the table, right? But I'm supposed to open, which we open at 8 a.m. So I don't know what I'm supposed to do because it's 2 episodes. So if it airs at 3 o'clock in the morning, like normal,
right?
Like, am I gonna stay up or maybe sleep a little bit, wake up at 3, and then depending on how long the episodes are, is my day gonna start at 5, and then I have to work all day? I don't know if I want to do that. So I'm in a bind. I need to plan how I'm going to do this.
Maddie,
what's going on, Maddie?
What's up, buddy?
Good to see you, buddy. But I'll figure it out. But what'll more than likely happen is I will weasel my way out of not opening, and I'll just go in at noon. That's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna have to do because
what time would you get off if you opened?
4 or 5.
That's worth it.
That's too long.
I would just open. Nah, I would just open, bro.
And just see it, watch it that after. I don't know if I can wait that long, man. I just
watch
don't know.
One and come back.
No, right. I can't do that. It's even worse. I'm gonna want to watch both at the same time because I'm sure.
See, Colin, that's that young man logic. That's that young man logic. He hasn't learned the patience needed.
Dude, just go block shit on Twitter, bro.
Right.
That's what I had to
stay
do.
off Twitter
blocked
for the
Doctor
day.
Strange 2 days ago.
I don't know. I'll figure it out. But another thing I wanted to mention I thought was really cool is kind of one of the last things that we hear in the trailer is the third sister like yelling at, we assume, Obi-Wan. Like, you can't run from him. Like, I thought that was so good. You know, like she knows that like this guy is not to be messed with, right? And at this time, Obi-Wan doesn't even know doesn't know who she's talking about. Like, he might know it's Vader, but maybe at this time he doesn't know that it's Anakin. So it's just so many layers. I mean, they didn't show us a lot, but they're really setting up what we're going to expect in the show. Tell him your British cousin is in town for a family reunion. I'll vouch for you. I mean, that's an idea, Maddie. I appreciate the idea. I'll figure it out. What will more likely happen is either I'll just stay up and just drink 3 ghost energy drinks throughout my morning to get me going, or I'll weasel my way into not going in as early as I'm supposed to. But we'll figure it out. Anything else from the trailer, guys, that you want to touch on before we get into some shenanigans?
So before we get into the shenanigans, I'm just going to start it off with a shenanigan.
Okay.
Because when she yells, y'all, this is all I fucking heard. I will find him. All I heard the whole time.
That's great. I did not even think about that. That's fun.
You cannot open him.
That's awesome. That
Chloe was just like, give me some Lord Zod. What? No. The 2012 Lord Zod. Oh, okay.
Oh man, that's so funny.
Well, real quick before we move on, I do want to talk about this beautiful poster
Oh
we got to go
yes,
along with.
yes. Someone pointed out on TikTok, and it melted my brain. But in the grand scheme of the poster, where is Vader?
His heart.
On Tatooine.
On Obi-Wan's. He's on Obi-Wan's heart.
Wow, you needed
Oh.
TikTok to tell you that?
Dude, I didn't put that together. I'm sorry, I wasn't looking that deep into a poster, but that I thought that was kind of neat. If that was intentional,
If we're being completely honest, that's a pretty mid poster. Like
I still prefer the teaser. I prefer the teaser one. I like the simplicity of it.
Like
Matt,
you could take Vader out of this and just give us this shot of Ewan.
Here's what bothers me though, and I don't want to go on a tangent because I want to get into some fun stuff, but I don't like the idea that it's teasing that this setting that Vader is on is Tatooine.
Yes, I agree. But that could be.
He doesn't go back to Tatooine until he doesn't go back to Tatooine until he learns that the boy who blew up the Death Star was his son Luke. That's when he goes to Tatooine to finally investigate.
Yeah.
What happened? How did he miss this? I don't like the idea of him going to Tatooine before that, because then he's going to be literally on the same planet as his son that he's supposed to not know exists. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping this is just like Tatooine is the backdrop of the show because that's where it starts, and then him and Obi-Wan, you know, they meet up somewhere else, like literally anywhere else. I don't care.
Personally,
I just don't want it to be on Tatooine.
Personally, I think that poster is just a misdirect, but that's just me.
No, it could be, but I don't like the idea. It already bothers me a little bit that Vader would be on Tatooine in the show. I hope that's not what they're doing. That would
agree with you there. But Toby, you want to talk about something else that made you upset today, real quick?
Sure.
You couldn't get any of these.
So to set the scene, it's early this morning. The trailer's out. We're all excited and going crazy. And then Matt sends this in our group chat. No context, just this picture. And I knew that Shop Disney was going to be dropping some exclusive stuff at 10 a.m. And I was like, oh, shit. I didn't know Cal Saber was going to be a part of that. Like, happy me. I don't need to go through Colin when he goes to Disney in a week, which we're going to talk about. I don't need to go
a week, in a couple days.
Yeah, in a few days, right? I don't need to go through him to get this thing. So I'm like logged into Disney and I'm in the queue and I'm just like sitting there, just like waiting patiently for my turn. And then I get there and it's not there. They have the $400 Ahsoka set that I wasn't going to buy. They have a couple neat shirts. I'm like, where's Cal's lightsaber? I'm not seeing it. So I text Matt. I'm like, what the fuck? Where is it? And he's like, oh, no, that's park exclusives. I'm like, you could have mentioned that in the original text. So you didn't get my hopes up. So thank you for that. It's fine. It's not that big a deal, honestly. But I do want that saber. I really do.
Dude, all I have to do, you can literally ship shit right from there. I can be like, yeah, send it to this address.
Probably.
It's gonna say Colin Morris. Your mom's gonna be like, Toby, why is there a package for a Colin Morris at the door? No, that's mine. That is mine.
No, that's probably what I'll do, and I appreciate it, Colin. But I just got my hopes up a little bit. I was like, oh.
Well, can we talk about the cooler thing there? I know you were excited about the Cal saber, but a Luminara saber and the refocused the Saj Ventress, which we already have the Maul version of it, but the Luminara saber is what I thought was cool from this. That's why I sent it. Like, we knew Cal saber. None of us expected a Luminara saber.
What a deep cut, right? Like, I remember when they did the for us to vote, and we ended up voting for Cal. Like, Kanan was there, Ezra's was there,
Qui-Gon, Anakin from Attack of the Clones.
Yes, and then the one from Vader Immortal. Like, what happened to those? Like, if those were in the running, you would think that those would be a potential one to bring out next. But then just out of left field, we get Luminara and Asajj. And Asajj, we don't even see in anything. Like, it's not in Clone Wars. It might be like in the original. Dark Disciple.
It's just we see Maul have it in Clone Wars Season 7, but we don't actually see the yellow one. That yellow one is strictly in Dark Disciple, the book, which I kind of, again, deep cut. That's cool to me. As someone who follows that stuff, being rewarded with that is awesome.
No, I agree. But wouldn't have it made more sense to just do Asajj's red lightsabers? That's more iconic to the average Star Wars fan.
We had those though already. They
at the park.
They got retired.
Oh shoot! Yeah. Okay. Never mind. I remember now. Yeah, that's right. I mean,
Hey,
it is cool.
Plo Koon sabers is changing
Plo Koon's
Luminara's color a little bit.
Plo Koon is a good one.
It's the exact same saber, change the color a bit. That's all Plo Koon is. So you can easily get that soon, Maddie. But I know.
But then Luminara, why?
Hey,
like I thought we all decided Luminara is kind of a
mid character.
Yeah. Like I'm just not gonna say the word, but yeah, like we've seen Luminara's true colors in recent Star Wars content, and not a fan. I don't think I want to spend $160 on her lightsaber.
Yeah, but Toby, there is stuff that came out today that you and I want to spend money on. I put together a little video. We can talk over it because there's no sound to it. But
okay, perfect.
Like today, Hasbro revealed Black Series stuff, and it was just awesome. We got the Republic security droid from Mandalorian Season 1 and 2. We got Leia in the Ewok Village from Return of the Jedi. That I'm excited for. We also got Jizz players. That's right. We got Jizz players. And on top of it, we get a deluxe pack that has another Jizz player with all the extra instruments and the modal nodes, and I'm excited. But the real sales was this.
Oh,
this is what Toby and I are ever loving shit for.
That's so sick.
Look at that thin neck. It doesn't have the it's still a thicker neck, but it doesn't have the issues that these other ones have had. And like we got look at the box art, which is just gorgeous right there. Look at that. How could you not be excited for it? But then here's the big boy, the big guns right here. Our first look at how Vader's helmet will look in the Obi-Wan television show. This is the paint job based off of it. Gunmetal gray. They talked about how when you separate the helmet, the breathing changes from it, and that's just awesome. And all this stuff is going to be pre-orderable tomorrow at 1 p.m. at most major retailers. So, Toby, I know you and I were in the group chat losing our minds about it. Colin, you good? There we go.
Okay, Colin's good. No, so we were talking off screen before we started about how I really love the design of Obi-Wan's hilt for this show. It's kind of an amalgamation of his Revenge of the Sith hilt and the A New Hope hilt. And I mean, the canon explanation of why they're different, I don't care. I just, again, I love, the aesthetic and the design of it. I just think it's just really nice. And they also talked in the video about how they've added a bunch of new tech to the new Force Effects lightsabers where they're
trying to compete with the high-end sabers.
And yeah, they're trying to compete with, the $600 plus ones that Matt buys for some reason.
I haven't bought one in a while, and I never spend more than $350, sir.
I'm kidding, but no, I really like what they're doing with that. And then the helmet, the Vader helmet, was also a surprise because they just did a Vader helmet like maybe 3-ish years ago, maybe
4 years ago. 4 years ago,
right? Probably for Rogue One, maybe. But either way, the fact they're doing another
General
one,
Vader helmet.
Okay. So they're doing one for the design that they did for the show. And they corrected the neck issue, which was a big deal for people who tried to wear it for cosplay reasons, role play reasons. The neck was just too bulky on really all of their helmets, but in this case, they fixed it, and I think that's really solid. If I had to choose one to have, probably be Obi-Wan's saber, because I like my lightsabers, man. They're just freaking cool to play with and look at. And every day, whenever Avery's home, she'll walk into my room and she'll just like point at him and mean she wants to fight. And it's like the most adorable thing ever. Because she has her own little like Ray saber that she probably got like Target or something. And she just wants to play. And that makes me happy. So yeah, out of all of the things that we saw today, the Obi-Wan saber is definitely the thing that I'm probably going to pick up. No, Colin, do you plan on getting any of these items for your collection?
I'm buying stuff at Disney World.
Oh, that's right. Okay, let's just get into that real quick. Maybe not real quick. I kind of want to talk about this for a minute, actually. So, Colin, you're going to Galaxy's Edge in a couple of days. Which day specifically will you be?
Monday.
Okay. My first question is, do you know how much do you know about Galaxy's Edge in terms of the layout, in terms of the merchandise, in terms of the everything?
I know it all. I watch all the vlogs. I watch everything. I watch people go to Galaxy's Edge all the time. The only thing I haven't watched is somebody ride Rise of the Resistance, so I can't wait to.
That's good.
That's about it.
Do you have your day planned out yet? Or are you just gonna kind of wing it?
I mean, it all is dictated on whether or not what happens at 7 a.m. when all the passes go up for Rise of the Resistance. What time do you get those? So you kind of have to plan your day around all that. Because then we're going to leave the park around 3 and go to Epcot. So we got to do everything in that 6-hour span.
So do you have an Olga's reservation?
No, we're not doing Olga's.
So no lightsaber reservation?
No.
Droid Depot?
No.
No,
I'm spending $220 to stand in a room for 3 hours, bro.
Okay, no,
not for 3 hours, but like 45 minutes. You know, that's like big time and money sink.
Because you're limited on time, that's the right choice, I think. Because I'm just telling you now, when you get there, just being there is enough. Like that, the price of admission, just being in the atmosphere, looking at the Falcon, you could stare at the Falcon for 6 hours and not get bored.
Right.
Like just being there is fun in itself. And Olga's, I will say, if you can maybe get a seat in Olga's somehow, some way, you don't got to spend a lot of time in there, because I didn't. I was probably in there maybe 35 minutes tops. Like, you came in, ordered a drink, looked around, took some photos, and then we were kind of done. But it is really, really cool to just go into Olga's. They shut the doors and you're just in a whole new world. You can't hear anything outside. It's just, you're kind of, for, like I said, 30, 35 minutes, just kind of in your own little space.
Yeah, because they kick you out.
Yeah, that's true. You can't just sit in there forever. But if you can, I would recommend getting Olga's. But if you can't, I understand. I think you're gonna have a blast no matter.
It's not Olga's. It's
Olga's. His Midwestern twang makes it sound like Olga's.
Sorry. No, like I said, you're gonna be plenty busy enough with walking around, taking pictures, buying. There's so much stuff to buy. My goodness. But yeah, you're gonna have a lot of fun, man. I'm really excited for you. I don't know when I'm gonna go back. Maybe if Celebration is in fact in Orlando next year.
If that were to happen, who knows?
I don't know. It's not been confirmed by anybody. I'm just throwing it out there because Orlando, is on the short list of places they go. Right, Anaheim, Orlando, Chicago. I know they were in London a few years ago. But I'm just guessing that they might be in Orlando next year, but we have to wait and see. But that would be my only real next chance to go back to Galaxy's Edge if we decide to take a trip to Celebration, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm really excited for you, man. You're gonna have fun. Hopefully the weather's good for you. It did rain while I was there.
Got a little bit. There might be a little rain on Saturday, but right now it's looking. I mean, it's Florida rain. Like, there was a random rainstorm today that lasted for 20 minutes. That was about as strong as a hurricane, but it was over. I know what it's like. Southern shit.
I was just about to say, you southern states all get the same kind of weather, so.
Yep. Hurricane breaks. You guys get snow days. We get hurricane days.
Speaking of Celebration,
I'm really excited to get just to like do everything, because I mean, a lot of people have tried to a lot of people have gotten to go multiple times, like before Rise of the Resistance, and I haven't even done Smuggler's Bounty, or Smuggler's Run. So it's going to be definitely like, oh, I get to do this while I'm waiting in line for the other thing, while other people don't really care about this anymore. Mm-hmm. And if we do the Genie Plus thing, we can just keep going and going and going and going and going and going.
Yeah.
I will say, before we get into the Celebration talk, that a lot of the people that I know, the vloggers that I watch, they say they can ride Rise of the Resistance 1,000,000 times and not get bored. But Smuggler's Run, you ride it a couple times and you're good. You don't really need to ride it again. At least that's the vibe I've got from the people that I follow. But if I had to tell you which one to ride out of the two, it's Rise of the Resistance 100 times out of 100. Like, that experience is just absolutely bananas in comparison to what you get with Smuggler's Run. But you'll find out for yourself.
Let's see. Colin's planning for a trip this week. Mine's in a month and a half. So I'm at this point, I'm just ready. Colin's chasing a wild tempo.
Is this your first time going to Galaxy's Edge, Matt?
Yeah. I've been dying to. We were supposed to go 2 years ago, and then the world shut
yeah.
down. So
what do you have planned, or do you have anything planned yet?
Jen and I have literally talked. We're gonna spend the majority of the day in Galaxy's Edge. The day reservations were able to be put up for Oga's, they were gone by the time we got a chance to check for them. Like
I have
every
seen
single
people.
day.
I've seen people just kind of ask if they can get a seat and
You
kind
can
of do
sit
like a
at the
walk-in
bar.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, or just sit at the bar. So if you can do that, again, I would recommend it. But yeah, man, I'm excited for both of you guys that you get to go. Like that's awesome. That place is really special. We've talked about this before, and I don't want to get too much into it, but I really hope within the next couple of years they might change the theme from sequels to Mandoverse, or maybe just make it like the Harry Potter land and just make it like an all-out. Just you can see Chewie one day, you can see young Han Solo one day, you can see old man Luke one day, you can see Rey one. You know what I mean? Like just make it open to it not being this in-world canon thing. You know,
Right.
but we'll see what happens.
Well, with the addition of the Star Cruiser, I don't think that's ever going to happen, sadly.
Yeah, I don't really want to talk about the Star Cruiser, to be honest. Anyway, Star Wars Celebration. That's happening very, very soon.
Yeah.
One of my favorite Star Wars memories, probably for the rest of my life, was my Chicago celebration, the first one I ever went to. I've talked about it on this show before, how I wasn't supposed to go, and then things just kind of happened, just on a whim. I signed up for a list of, because the tickets were sold out at that point. I was like, I'll sign up for this list that if someone decides to sell their ticket, I could potentially get one. And I was like, probably won't happen. Like 30 minutes later, I get an email like, hey, here's your ticket. Have fun. I was like, oh shit, Chris, we're going to Celebration. And it was a blast. So everyone who gets to go this year, I'm very excited for you. It's going to be a special one because there's just so much stuff is going to happen. Matt, I don't know if you have it prepared, but if you could pull up the panels.
It's already there.
Oh, good boy. That would be
All
great
right.
because there's a lot's going to be happening during Celebration.
Yeah. So of course there's the 3 different stages. You have the Celebration stage, which is the main stage. There's Galaxy stage, which is the second biggest stage of the weekend. And it's going to have the first looks on the big screen are planned, as well as a wide variety of shows featuring the depth and breadth of Star Wars universe. Catch conversations with master celebrity appearances and more. Enjoy the pre-show before each session too. And then there's the Twin Sun stage, which is the level 2 stage, smallest stage, but the important thing when it comes to those 2 other stages outside of the Celebration stage is those are basically the overflow rooms. Those are the, hey, you didn't get the main panel, but you're still gonna get all the goodies of the main panel and be able to watch that panel on the main screen along with everyone else who got in here. So, like, for example, Celebration Chicago when we went, the day Mandalorian stuff showed. If you were in an overflow room, you got the same thing as everybody else who was in the main Celebration stage. I was in an overflow room. And I walked out and I had friends who were like, yo, what was it that they showed on? I'm like, what are you talking about? You didn't see it? And they're like, no, we were on the floor and we were watching from the main like little hub where Andy and I forget the other person's name would come out and talk Star Wars and MC the show floor. Like, yeah, they didn't show it out there. So, and that's when you find out, like, oh, if you get one of these overflow rooms, you get what the main floor gets. And I still have the exclusive Mandalorian poster you get from that. Or I got from that. It was a wild experience, and that's why I always tell people, I'm like, even if you don't get the main panel, if you got one in an overflow room, consider yourself lucky. Just be happy about it.
Right. Can you go through the what the panels are?
Yeah.
Specifically the big ones.
I'll go through the major ones. So event starts Thursday at 11 a.m. to 12:30. Live on the Celebration stage will be the Lucasfilm Studio Showcase. Star Wars Celebration returns, launching with a must-see showcase that will kick the weekend's festivities into hyperdrive. Lucasfilm's current crop of live-action filmmakers will be joined by special guests to discuss the many Star Wars adventures coming soon, including Obi-Wan Kenobi, Andor, and The Mandalorian. at 1 p.m. is Attack of the Chords, the music of episode 2, because this is the 20th anniversary of episode 2, with David W. Collins. Come celebrate the music of Star Wars episode 2, Attack of the Clones. As host, David W. Collins explores the musical connections between the story and the characters, breaking down both new and classical themes. This next panel, I know I'm very interested in. I know Toby will probably be interested in it because of what we get next week, and that's Brotherhood, but Lucasfilm Publishing, the stories from a galaxy far, far away. This is the panel where we get our look at the latest novels and comics and everything coming down the pipeline. We'll get more book announcements, and I'm really excited for that. We're probably going to get our first look at the High Republic second series or second phase or whatnot there. And that has all the publishers from Lucasfilm Press, Del Rey, and Dark Horse, and any other publisher. So that's really cool. No, Ian McDermott's Audience with the Emperor, nothing special. It's just a Q&A with Ian McDermott. Cool. Then you have something Toby and I probably care about, Star Wars Collectibles Update with Lucasfilm's Brian Merton. So that's from 2:30 to 4 o'clock on Thursday. The High Republic for Light and Life, and this is on the Galaxy stage, and this is going to be talking about the High Republic with the High Republic show host Christina Ariel, along with authors such as Claudia Gray, Justina Ireland, Daniel Jose Older, Cavan Scott, and Charles Soule. So it's going to be an in-depth conversation about the Golden Age of the Jedi, including all new announcements and reveals from Phase 2 Quest of the Jedi. So excited Thursday? For that. Those are the main panels they're promoting for Thursday, and we all know there's smaller ones too.
Right. So before we get into Friday and Saturday, Thursday, the big one, obviously, the Lucasfilm Showcase, talking about Kenobi, Andor, and Mandalorian. Right.
Yeah.
So I've said this before. I don't know if it was on this program, but I've just been in conversations with people and on social media. I think that Andor is Lucasfilm's secret weapon.
Yes.
I say that because we know nothing about this show. They've been filming for 4 years, it seems like. Like, this show has been kept under wraps, like, more than really anything else. We've got set photos because they're actually shooting on location, which adds to my theory that this is their secret weapon. I think that they're putting a buttload of money into the show. It's already confirmed for season 2. We know they're filming season 2 in November. So they're ready to go.
They've filmed back to back. So there was reports that the season 1 was 12 episodes. Realistically, it was actually they're filming season 1 and 2 back to back, and they're doing reshoots going into November. Okay. So that's exciting to me.
But this panel specifically, I mean, we know what we're getting with Kenobi at this point. I'm not sure what they'll be able to talk about. I mean, the first 2 episodes would have aired already.
No, they wouldn't have, because that's Thursday.
They wouldn't have aired yet. Right. Either way, they're not gonna tell us what they're gonna do, right? Like, they're gonna make it a surprise. So I'm not sure what they're gonna really talk about in depth there. So, and then Mando, I feel like most of the Mando conversation we'll get for Mando Plus, which is gonna happen later on in the weekend. So I really think that this specific panel will be a lot of Andor and whatever is happening with the movies, if anything. But we'll see what happens.
I will say this. When it comes to that panel, I've heard rumors that if you do get in the main stage, they're going to direct you into a theater afterwards to see the first 2 episodes.
Of Andor?
No, or Kenobi on the big
Kenobi.
screen.
Oh, okay.
Like an actual theater to see it on the big screen.
Oh, that's incredible. That's really cool. Because I'm sure there's so many things that are going to happen in those first 2 episodes that's just going to get a pop out of that audience, man. Because you miss that. As much as I love the shows, you don't get that audience camaraderie of sharing, that experience. So that's really, really cool. Colin, what are your thoughts on the Lucasfilm Lucasfilm Showcase with Andor, Obi-Wan, and Mando? What are you expecting?
I haven't really had a lot of time to think about it. I mean, they're not going to really announce anything new. I don't know how excited I'm going to get. Honestly, if it's just like an Andor trailer, that's cool. But
Rogue Squadron, maybe? Is that still happening?
We don't know, because last we heard Patty Jenkins got pulled off of it. They could do Taika's movie, give us a title for it, and maybe a couple casting announcements.
It seems to me, man, just maybe they've just been holding their cards to their chest like they always do with the movie stuff. but just there seems to be no emphasis right now on any film projects for Star Wars. Like they are living on Disney Plus right now. Like there's just so much stuff that they've been hyping up. I mean, Kenobi's the next big thing. Book of Boba Fett was huge in terms of its PR. Like you couldn't go anywhere without seeing a poster or a trailer or a TV spot or anything for that show. And we already know the Mandalorian and Grogu is the face of Star Wars right now. It's not even close. So Disney Plus is their priority. So I'm just curious. But if you look at like the slate for Disney, there's a movie next year. Like it's still there. I don't know why it's not been removed, or maybe we are in fact getting Rogue Squadron or something next year, some mystery project. But I don't know. It's interesting to me that they just no hint whatsoever at any new movie. But like I've said, and Matt, you were with me on this, that Star Wars on TV, like I'm cool with that. I don't need a Star Wars movie for a while.
Like the only reason I'm cool with Star Wars on TV is because of how more in depth we're getting with the stories. But there are times I wish I can just rent out a theater and bring a bootleg copy of the series and just watch them. You know what I mean? Because with COVID going on, that's still an option at some theaters. You can rent out a theater for however long. I would do that just to watch all of Mandalorian season 2. I'll say that right now. But it is what it is. I'm excited either way. But yeah.
So about Friday, what we got Friday?
So Friday you have Light and Magic, and that will be a discussion on the Light and Magic with a sneak peek at Light and Magic, the show that we just got announced today, which is a show about how they did the special effects and how they evolved throughout the years, which I'm actually really excited for that, being the tech geek I am when it comes to filmmaking.
Yes.
And that's going to include featuring Lawrence Kasdan, Ron Howard, and VFX titans Dennis Muren, Phil Tippett, Joe Johnston, and Rose Doonigan, and Linwin Brennan. So that's awesome to me. For our Star Wars fans, the Summer of Lego Star Wars, and that's just going to be an announcement of games and animation and actual Lego stuff, and they're going to dive into the newly released Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga video game, and show off some brand new construction sets. So Lego fans,
they got a DLC announced today too.
Yep.
Yeah, I've not even updated it yet. Like you get Ahsoka Lego, you get all of the season
Mandalorian too. They dropped a trailer for that today. I don't know if that's like in the one they dropped today though. Is that in it, or was that an additional trailer?
For Lego,
there was a Mando and Grogu on my YouTube page. I didn't click the thumbnail.
I mean, I've been able to play as Mando and Grogu throughout up until today.
I think it's a storyline though.
Yeah.
Oh, that I don't know.
That DLC.
That I don't know. I just know that I've been seeing Ahsoka Lego everywhere. Like everyone's excited to have that character in the game, which I am too, but I've not gotten to it yet.
Yeah. Next off is another Lucas publishing panel, and that's more so the nonfiction and behind the scenes books from DK and Insight Editions and Abrams. For those who don't know what that means it's a panel on these beautiful books right here. It's a panel on these. So
those books are so
that's cool to
good.
Me. Yeah, they really are. They really are. Then at 2 p.m. on Friday, you have the Attack of the Clones 20th anniversary celebration.
Oh, that's a big one.
I'm really excited for that.
That's a big one.
Even though that's my least favorite movie, I'm really excited for that panel. 2 p.m. on Friday, Star Wars merchandise sneak peek at Disney Parks and Shop Disney, aka we're gonna show you all the stuff we're gonna be adding to the park soon, and I'm hoping that I get to see stuff that'll drop while I'm there. About a month after the fact. Then we're gonna go beyond the spires and virtual reality, making of ILM and LAB's Tales from Galaxy's Edge. Cool, I guess. Star Wars panel. But no, just more in-depth looks at the new figures and premium role play offerings. We'll probably get more announcements. I'll say this: if they announce a fucking Inquisitor saber, I'm gonna lose my shit. So there's that. From a galaxy far away to a Disney park near you, and this is gonna talk about it's a history of what they're doing and of what they've done and what they're doing going forward. So that's kind of cool. They're doing a 35 years of Star Tours adventure with D23. Let's Play Star Wars, a galaxy of tabletop games. Behind the audiobook, making an original Star Wars adventure by PRH Audio. And that is the Friday main panels.
Okay. I don't want to be mean, but a bunch of nothing and then the Attack of the Clones panel is like honestly what Friday kind of sounds like to me. In terms of like the grand scale things that I'm interested in.
Yeah. To me, I heard collectibles, Hasbro, Park, Attack of the Clones. That's all I care about that Friday. And of course, I wish we were there. We were going to be there that Friday because that Friday is going to be buzzing because that's going to be the day everyone watches Kenobi before the convention.
Out. Yeah, that's true. I'm curious about the Attack of the Clones panel. Of what the atmosphere is going to be like for that one, because I feel like with Phantom Menace, that panel was like a celebration of
yes, it was.
I think was George there, like George was there.
Yeah. Ahmad was there.
Right, and we had videos from some of the actors that couldn't make it. Like Liam Neeson was there doing a video. But like with Attack of the Clones, like I feel like across the board, it's most people's like least favorite Star Wars movie. It is very, very clunky. As much as there are things that I appreciate, it is a hard movie to get through at some points. And I'm curious if Hayden will be on the panel. I would like to think he would be.
I think he will be.
Natalie Portman, maybe.
She's
sure. Toby, I'm going to introduce you to a concept, okay? I'm going to introduce you to a concept that us adults like to call the Disney dick.
Yep. Okay. Exactly right.
Once you're on it, you can't get off.
Okay.
So Natalie Portman is about to rear up the Disney hype machine. And if you don't think that they're not going to throw Natalie Portman in front of a group of people to bolster up Natalie Portman shit just for this summer's release of Thor Love and Thunder, come on. And then no way Hayden's not going to be there.
No, Hayden will be
already getting paid.
Hayden's already announced to be there for autographs and pictures all weekend. So I wouldn't be shocked to see him there.
No,
and so is Ewan McGregor.
No, it would make sense for the big three to be there. Natalie Portman's kind of the one that I'm iffy about, but I hope she is there because the audience is going to go crazy because the Padme Renaissance, maybe you can say, with the Queen books, all three that have come out within the last few years, I've heard really good things about those. Like Padme is the focal point for a lot of the fandom right now, especially younger girls who really look up to her and feel like we missed out on a lot of her story. Like she's great in the Clone Wars. Like Padme, the character is great in the Clone Wars. I love her arc in Revenge of the Sith. As sad as it is, I love her. The moment she has, I really, really, really wish that they had left the scene of kind of the early days of the rebellion being built, like as the Republic is falling. I love Padme's bit in that, and I think she deserves to have the standing ovation and the round of applause because, I mean, I understand that Star Wars may have hurt her career at an early, important time in her life, but I hope she sees, as Hayden has seen and as Ewan has seen, that the fandom really, really, really appreciates them because, they grew up with them and those characters. So I hope that she is there. That would be really cool. And then the reason I mentioned before about I'm kind of iffy on just the atmosphere, because like I said, that movie is it's just kind of all over the place. It's clunky, but I think they'll do the same thing that they did with Phantom Menace, which it'll just be a celebration of the movie and the cast and, share stories and all that good stuff. So I'm actually really, really excited about that panel. That's one I'm going to try to, depending on what I'm doing that day, to really kind of sit down and watch. Because all the other ones are cool. Collectibles cool. Books cool. But the Attack of the Clones is the first Star Wars movie I remember seeing. I was like 5, right? And I remember seeing bits and pieces of it. I remember the chase scene in the beginning, Obi-Wan riding the robot thing. I remember Anakin jumping out of the car. I remember the Yoda igniting the lightsaber for the first time. Like those are some of my earliest memories. So it holds a special place, and I think that panel should be a fun time.
Yeah.
But that is Friday. Saturday
Yes.
is going to be the
Saturday
big one.
You have Mando plus conversation with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, in their first appearance at Star Wars Celebration since the premiere of The Mandalorian. Join Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni with special guests for a look back and a look ahead at what's to come.
I would like to see that, but guys,
Yeah.
I have to hop off real quick. Not feeling too great. Going to head out for a little while, but
Okay.
I might hop back in, might not. You guys be good and stay frosty, and may the 4th be with you all.
All right. Feel better, buddy. Sorry to
Feel
hear
better,
that.
buddy.
No, I know what that's like. I was sick like a month ago. Oh, no fun.
That's happened to all of us at one point or another on the show. Then you had the behind the scenes of The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett, and that is at 1 to 2, which return to the sands of Tatooine as members of the visual effects, creature effects, and sound teams pull back the curtain on their work of The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett to meet the creative challenges put forth by showrunners Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and Robert Rodriguez. This is all about the practical effects and animatronics, animation, cutting edge sound, all that stuff. So that's kind of cool. Then there's the cosplay celebration or cosplay competition. That's self-explanatory. Star Wars Hunters, welcome to the greatest show in the galaxy.
That's that new game, right?
I think so. On a planet of Vespara, the galaxy's greatest fighters assemble. Yeah, it is. In the arena to compete for glory and credits, Star Wars Hunters will introduce a unique original cast of characters facing off in a thrilling 4v4 arena combat. Join the Zyga and the Lucasfilm teams to learn about how this spectacle will come to life. Hear developers' insights and see the behind-the-scenes glimpses at upcoming content.
That's Saturday?
That's Saturday.
Okay. Mando Plus, obviously the big one there.
You meant, is that all for Saturday? No, we got a couple more.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I thought we were missing some.
So, after that, Tales of the Jedi. Introducing Tales of the Jedi, an animated anthology of shorts hosted by Amy Ratcliffe with special guest Dave Filoni. Then you have Doug Chiang designing The Mandalorian. Pretty self-explanatory. We all know in this fandom who Doug Chiang is. 4:30 to 5:30. Marvel Comics live at the Twin Suns stage. Self-explanatory. I Am C-3PO with Anthony Daniels. His panel. That's just a Q&A. Jenny loved this panel last time. Del Rey behind the scenes. We're going to go behind the scenes of the books Brotherhood, Shadows of the Sith, and The Princess and the Scoundrel. From the prequels to the original trilogy to the sequel trilogy, there are Star Wars books from Lucasfilm and Del Rey for everyone. This panel is not one to be missed. So that's all of Saturday.
Okay. Before we get to Mando Plus, Tales of the Jedi, that logo was leaked like a year ago, forever ago. And we're all just kind of waiting, like, what is Tales of the Jedi? Is it animated? Is it live action? What is it? And it's an animated anthology short thingy, mabob. I'm a little disappointed. I was hoping for something more along the lines of Rebels, Clone Wars, kind of 30-minute animated program with a one story kind of a thing. I was hoping maybe sequel related, but go ahead.
Do you think it starts to fill in some of the gaps from the 30-year gap we have from Return of the Jedi to Force Awakens? Because I can easily see it time jumping from episode to episode with it being an anthology series. So maybe get to see a little bit of Luke and Ben training with each other. I
mean, I think we can see just about anything. It being an anthology, they can throw stories in before Phantom Menace, in between Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, in the Clone Wars, in the Galactic Civil War, in between Empire and Return of the Jedi, anytime during the sequel trilogy, High Republic era, post sequel trilogy. Like, they can go anywhere they want to with this, and I imagine that's probably what they've done. But I feel like if it was like one of the bigger properties in terms of like the animation, like on the lines of Bad Batch and Clone Wars, I feel like it would be there would be a bigger deal about it. But Dave Filoni's involved, which is obviously always important. But I'm just a little disappointed. Like anytime I see shorts behind it, I'm just like, is it kind of a throwaway thing, or are they taking it very seriously, or do they just understand that our attention spans are all shrinking at a rapid rate, and we can only take so much content at one time before we're scrolling through TikTok again? So I don't know what their strategy is with this show, but I am very excited to see finally what it is.
Yeah, no, agreed 110%.
But Mando Plus. So Mando Plus.
That's the main focus here. Let's be honest.
That's a big and because it's interesting that they're doing Mandalorian is going to be a part of the Lucasfilm showcase, and we know John and Dave will be a part of that. So how much Mando will they talk about during that compared to the Mando Plus? Are they going to save most of the conversation for a dedicated Mando panel? That's interesting to me. I wonder if Mando Plus will be Mandalorian season 3, maybe Book of Boba Fett season 2, Ahsoka, kind of giving us an idea of where that story's headed, or maybe the Lucasfilm showcase will be more about the grander scheme of the Mandoverse, and then Mando Plus will just be more just season 3 stuff. Like I don't know how they're gonna balance it out, but I would imagine Mando Plus, because it's called Mando Plus, it's gonna be the Mandoverse conversation. It will include Boba Fett. It will include Ahsoka. It will include whatever other shows they plan to tell in this timeline. So that one's going to be ginormous. Like, I really think that one, because of how popular The Mandalorian is, and now that we know Grogu is back into the fold, that's going to be a big deal for a lot of people.
So here's the thing. When I see this lineup, it reminds me of a Sunday lineup at most cons, which is we're just throwing this out here. There's the big stuff, because none outside of Mando Plus, none of that seems big to me or worth anything.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I looked ahead at Sunday. Sunday is what I would consider a Saturday lineup at a con, and I know we'll get there in a minute. But like, this is just Mando Plus is all I care about. That's realistically where I'm at when it comes to Saturday.
Well, I mean, Tales of the Jedi, I think, is important to see what that show is. But Mando Plus will be the big one for sure.
Yeah.
Sunday.
All
yeah,
right.
Let's go.
This is a big one. So on Sunday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., Star Wars: The Bad Batch Season 2.
Let's
Strap
go.
in, kid.
Finally,
you're not gonna want to miss this. Join the host David Collins as he invites Star Wars the Bad Batch executive producer and supervising director Brad Rao, executive producer and head writer Jen Corbett, story editor Matt Miknovitz, and actors D. Bradley Baker and Michelle Ong to discuss highlights from the first season of the acclaimed series, as well as some exciting hints at what's to come in season 2.
Let's go. About time.
Yes.
I don't know when it's going to air, but I'm
probably
excited
later
to see
this
something.
year.
Fall's
Next
my
up,
guess.
a look back at Star Wars Visions. Join team members from Lucasfilm and Quebec Pictures as they discuss the development and success of Star Wars Visions, hosted by longtime anime and Star Wars fan Chastity Vincencio. The panelists will share highlights from production, discuss how they worked with Kamikaze, Doga, Studio Colorido, Geno Studio, Trigger, Kinema Citrus Co., Production IG, and Science Saru to bring Star Wars Visions to life, show never before seen concept art, and more. Just want to put it out there. It's been rumored that we're going to get season 2 later this year. So I wouldn't be shocked to see that announced there.
I think that's almost a guarantee that we're getting a season 2 of Visions. It was huge, not in just the Star Wars community, but in the anime community. I think that the numbers for that show, I don't know, I don't have them in front of me, but I think
I've rewatched a couple like there are certain episodes I've gone to and rewatched because that was that good to me. The one
1000%.
specifically is the 9th Jedi.
It's incredible. It's so
and
good.
And the creator of that
one,
man. Yeah, the twins. But for the 9th Jedi, the creator of that one says he has an entire series in mind, and I'm like, fuck Vision. Give me an entire series of that.
Yeah. No, I think we're gonna get more. I think Lucasfilm was very pleased with the viewership of that show. So I'm very, very excited to see what is more to come. Do they continue in the storylines that they set up, or are we going to go in other places, or both? I don't know. We'll see.
What anime studios are going to be involved, what ones that were involved before aren't going to be involved. That kind of stuff is going to be interesting. The next panel is the Wonderful World of Wookiees. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's the sleeper one right there. That's a sleeper.
I kind of agree with you there. Loyal allies, gifted pilots, skilled mechanics, and fierce warriors. Wookiees have come to be many things in the Star Wars galaxy. Join host Amy Ratcliffe and special guests Jonas Suotamo, Carrie Jones, and Charles Soule for Wookiee-focused discussion that will include a tribute to the iconic Peter Mayhew.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Because Jonas, he loves Star Wars, man. He's a huge fan. He loves the character of Chewie. I really hope he gets more involved and maybe playing Chewie in a solo project.
Even if they put him as another Wookiee, it's not like he's got to be Chewie. Just give the man work.
Yes, and then I'm watching behind me, if you can see. I'm watching the Disney Gallery for Book of Boba Fett, and is it Casey Jones or Carrie Jones?
Carrie Jones.
Carrie Jones, yeah. I'm literally like at that part, or I was a few minutes ago, of him talking about how he was getting into the character of Black Chrysanthemum, and he has a props background, a motion capture background, so he knows his stuff. And he was talking about how he put the mask on, and if he moved his mouth, the mouth of the mask moved, and his eyes. Very, very cool. Seems like an awesome guy. I think that conversation will be really, really fun. And to dedicate it to Peter Mayhew is just cherry on top. So that's a good panel. You'd be lucky to get into that one.
Now, this is one I know Toby and I would both want to be at. Join host David Collins and special guests Dave Filoni, Carrie Beck, and Athena Portillo for a special screening of The Siege of Mandalore, the 4-episode arc that makes up the cinematic final chapter of Star Wars The Clone Wars. And that is on the main celebration stage.
That's a big one. And
if you have them there, there's probably going to be some sort of special announcement.
Oh, yeah. I could see that. I don't know what other stories, maybe.
Who says it would be animated? You could be getting a look at Ahsoka and not even know it. It's Dave Filoni being there in an Ahsoka-focused arc.
Where my head is going is the unfinished episodes they're sitting on.
That too.
That maybe those could be. Maybe we get a what did they call season 6? Like the lost episodes. So we get like a lost episodes 2 of just all of the unfinished arcs. I mean, we were just talking about Asajj a few minutes ago. Like see that arc with her and what's his face? The love story that they have that's told in Dark Disciple. Because Dark Disciple was a book that was created through the scripts for those unfinished.
Who wrote the scripts, Toby? George Lucas's daughter.
Yeah, that's right. That is correct. So maybe we'll see. Dave Filoni always has something up his sleeve or under his cowboy hat, whatever. So yeah, that'll be a fun one. And I've not heard Dave really talk in depth about the Siege of Mandalore. At least I've not seen any interviews, so I'm really curious to hear his thoughts as he was making those last few episodes, his thoughts now that he's kind of sat on it for a little while. Yeah, that'll be a really good one.
I was honestly going to watch the gallery tonight and then afterwards watch the 4-hour cut of Revenge of the Sith. So
shit, it's such a chore. Oh man.
It's not, because I get Clone Wars: The Siege of Mandalore out of it.
Yeah, 4 hours is a long time.
Hey, we sat through the Snyder cut, and it's still Revenge of the Sith.
That's true. Anyway, what else we got?
So then after that, you have behind the scenes, the creatures of Return of the Jedi. Movie monster fans won't want to miss this in-depth exploration of Return of the Jedi aliens. Join special guest and Return of the Jedi creature maker Kirk Thatcher, along with FX artist Tom Spina, Amy Ratcliffe, and Jason and Gabe from Blast Point's podcast as they turn their keen eyes towards the throne room of Jabba the Hutt and the wondrous creatures of Return of the Jedi with a showcase of rare images and stories from making the film. I'm shocked that's a panel for this year, considering next year is the 20th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. That would be something you would expect to be at a Star Wars celebration celebrating the 20th anniversary or the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, maybe where their head's at is that for the 40th anniversary of A New Hope in 2017, that was the big one, right? Like they had
That's because that's the anniversary of the entire franchise at the same time.
right, and I think that it would almost be redundant to do a Return of the Jedi one because it's the same cast, right? Like Warwick Davis hosted the 40th anniversary of the franchise, so like he was there for that.
I'm not talking about a big panel.
George was there.
I'm just talking about considering it's a Return of the Jedi centric panel to some behind the scenes of it. That's more what I'm saying.
Okay. I mean, maybe they just don't want to dedicate a whole panel to Return of the Jedi next year because maybe next year's busier than this year. Like,
hey,
who knows?
If they did it for the Phantom Menace and they're doing it for Attack of the Clones, nothing says they wouldn't do it for.
That's true. You're probably right, but I'm just trying to maybe think of where their head's at with that. But
and then finally closing Celebration Anaheim closing ceremony live at the celebration stage. Gather your friends and fellow Star Wars fans to relive the best moments of the weekend and bid farewell to another Star Wars celebration featuring special guests, weekend highlights, and much more. This is a send-off you won't want to miss. And this is normally where they announce when and where the next celebration will be. I have it on good authority that it will be next year, location TBD, because next year is the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi, and we're just, to be honest, Disney considers the big anniversaries of the OG3 as events they can't miss. It was rumored before the pandemic hit that Celebration was going to become an every other year event. That being, you'd get Celebration one year, the next year you would get D23, the next year you'd get Celebration, and the next year you'd get D23. COVID kind of set that back. This year, because they have so much to show upcoming and it's also the anniversary of Attack of the Clones, they just said we're going to bite the bullet and do both this year. But don't be surprised if after this year we go back to one on, one off, one on, one off, one on, one off. And you mentioned Orlando earlier. It's probably going to be where it is because ultimately what they're going to want to do is have people utilize the parks and utilize Galaxy's Edge.
Synergy. Got to have that corporate synergy.
You go back and forth, and everyone knows they're not going to take these out of country anymore. Like, it's been widely known that the celebration in London a few years back was a failure financially because of how much it costs to get out there and put the show on and everything else. And you want to know
another one we can guarantee probably won't ever happen again, and to my chagrin, Chicago.
Yeah.
Dude, the complaints that I saw about the cold, they just would not
because we
shut
got
up
snow
about it.
One of those days.
Like all these freaking Westerners from California and these Floridians freaking coming up to the Midwest, like they were in for a shock.
And see, that's where I was about to get to. You want to know what's great about keeping it at the Disney parks locations? It's in Anaheim and Orlando, Florida and California. Gorgeous weather.
Yep. So, I get it. I hate it, but I get it. Like because we're in the Midwest, we were literally just right in the middle. Like we got to go far for both.
I know, bud. I know. But hey, Orlando's a little bit easier to pull off, and we both know
Orlando is a little more doable for sure.
And we get to go to Disney if we go.
It's a win-win. Finding a place will be easier. It'll be less expensive. So I'm positive.
And he can stop bitching about not going to Orlando.
Right, exactly. But that's Celebration. Do you have any hot takes for what maybe some surprises we might see?
No, I think everything's kind of spelled out. Surprise-wise,
I think a movie up their sleeve. That's my one. I think they're gonna. But
I was about to say, I think we're gonna give a movie announcement in that first panel. It's all live action stuff. They said it's not just TV shows. They listed TV shows because that's what is known. Mm-hmm. But I agree with you. We're probably gonna get either an update on Rogue Squadron, or we're gonna get the Taika Films cast or title. So because everybody keeps forgetting Taika film.
Here's what I think would melt everyone is if the very end it's like, yay, thank you for coming, have a good day. Oh wait, we have a special guest, and who walks his way on the stage? Kevin Feige and Kathleen Kennedy to announce that movie is happening and it's gonna start filming, or maybe it's done, like the script is done, but we might get a title. Kevin Feige shows up at Celebration, dude, people would lose their mind. But I think there's a better chance that Taika is the one that takes the stage. Yeah. I don't think it'll be Patty Jenkins. I think Taika's next.
I agree with you there. That's just where my mind is at. This is something we didn't know about and we can cover real quick. So you know how they did Mando Mondays?
Like they're doing Obi-Wan Wednesdays, yeah.
Yes, sir. We didn't even cover that.
No, I saw that today. I completely forgot about it, but yep, Obi-Wan merch at the end of every Obi-Wan episode
on Wednesdays.
I don't know. Here's the thing. I was kind of disappointed in the Boba Fett stuff. There was nothing like that I bought that was launched during any of that time.
I agree with you, but that's because I felt like they were launching more Mandalorian merch than they were Boba Fett.
That's true. Because they had to play catch up from season 2 because they didn't have any toys ready. I mean, it's cool. We might get some surprises, but like the Obi-Wan saber is the big one, and we already got that announced.
Toby's like, I'm gonna get a message. Man, send me that link tomorrow.
I probably will forget, to be honest. But no, that's cool. That's cool. More merch, more stuff to spend money on.
Did you see some of the stuff that dropped at Disney today? Some of the other stuff besides what I showed? Because there's one thing in here that I think is dope, and it's a shirt, surprisingly.
No, go ahead and pull it up.
Yes, here. Because this is from Walt Disney World NT. You know what website I'm talking about. I just don't know that personally off the top of my head.
So this isn't Shop Disney. This is
stuff that is new to Black Spire and Doc Ondars. Look at this Dark Side tee. What does that remind you of?
Oh, that's like Darth Maul-esque, right?
In season 7. Yes, sir.
I like that. That's cool.
There's a couple of other things that I've seen pictures of floating online, but there aren't pictures on their site. Like they added the Jedi shoulder armor
I did
for
see that.
kids.
I did see that.
Which I'm like, fuck the kids, I want that shit. But just all the cool merch, the satchel for Black Spire. There's a few things that have dropped. There's this whole new May the 4th line, which ball caps, t-shirts, more just a lot of Black Spire Day is what they're calling it. So there's your little canon reference. It's Black Spire Day, not May the 4th. I know that makes Toby upset, but I'm here by myself. We lost Toby. But no, there's a lot going on. I'm excited. I don't know where Tobias went. There's so much to just go over and see. There we go. I was like, where the fuck did Tobias go?
Did you hear what I said?
No.
Okay. What I was saying was we've not gotten any officially licensed Star Wars ponchos.
I agree. I need me an Endor poncho, dude. I need an Endor.
Those are iconic. An Endor poncho, a Cal Kestis poncho. Obi-Wan has a poncho now. Like, give me those. And they're relatively cheap to make. I think they would sell like hotcakes.
Yeah. There's real quick stuff like this where the launch bay meet and greet is reopening. There's the SABER. Oh yeah, they're adding the Sea Droids to Galaxy's Edge later this month.
Oh, that's cool.
So you want your chopper, even though they already sell chopper, you can create your own chopper. There's also the droid builder expansion. Just a lot of cool stuff coming to the park, which makes me excited considering I'm heading there so soon, so soon. I need more. I need more. I'm so excited. I'm jealous because Colin gets to go this weekend.
I think you're going at a better time though. I think you'll have more new stuff to look at and potentially buy.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. Oh, here, there's the official look at the Luminara. Look at that, and they came in white cases too.
I mean, yeah, that's cool. I didn't need those. Like, I didn't need Luminara, man. Like, so many other options.
I get it. Personally, the clan sabers are some of my favorite, so I'm fine with it either way.
Like, give me some High Republic love, or I mean, literally all the ones that they were almost gonna make if Cal didn't win, like Kanan, Ezra.
Give me a Kanan. Give me an episode 2 Anakin, because that's the one I cared about. I know some people want a Qui-Gon. I sold my Qui-Gon that I owned a couple of years ago, so I wouldn't be upset like. Here's the thing. Do I buy a lot of the high-end sabers? Yes, without a doubt. But at the end of the day, sometimes you need to go a little bit cheap if you want to have a higher quantity. And I'll take a lesser quantity or lesser quality one so I can have the collection I want to have. Because ultimately what I want to do is I want to have a collection of all the canon characters that I care about from the main saga and their sabers at the time. So I'm trying to do, you have Maul, Obi-Wan, and Qui-Gon to start with episode 1. Episode 2, I would have a Dooku, an Anakin, and an Obi-Wan. Episode 3, Anakin and Obi-Wan, Palpatine, and Yoda, which I have a lot of those luckily already. Episode 4, Obi-Wan and Vader. I'd skip Vader. Or excuse me, I'd have Luke, Obi-Wan, Vader, Luke from episode 5, because I do have that. Luke from episode 6, Vader from episode 6, and then you get the sequel trilogy ones.
There you go.
And Ben has the Ahsoka set because that's awesome. We're geeks. We're geeks. As an anniversary gift, I got her autographed Ashley Eckstein Ahsoka Clone Wars sabers when they first dropped a couple years ago, because I have a friend who was a season ticket holder at the parks, and he's like, "Hey, I'm here. They have like 3 autograph sets that's left. I'm up there. Do you want one?" And I said, "Yes, I'll PayPal you the money."
Yeah, I love that. Boyfriend of the decade for that purchase. But before we go, I have a quick story.
Yes.
So I went to a Star Wars trivia night yesterday at a bar, right? And it was my first time doing anything like this before. I know they've done them in the past, but I've just never been able to make it. But my buddy was like, "Hey, let's go to this one. It's like, take it serious." I was like, "Oh, you bet I'm taking it serious. Like, we're gonna win this thing." So we show up, and it's at an arcade bar in my town. So I go there all the time. It's a blast. Like, they got themed drinks, they got free arcade games. Like, it's just a great place to go. But the Star Wars trivia is what I was there for. So we show up, and my buddy Jacob, he's been on this program before. He knows his shit, and I'd like to think that I know my shit. So we were going into this very confident, and we get there, and there's some people buzzing around. We're mingling, trying to get the lay of the land, like who are we going up against for this thing, right? And I didn't know the rules. I didn't know how many questions there were. I didn't even know how hard the questions were going to be. I went into this thing completely blind. So there's 3 rounds, 10 questions per round, and the questions get harder over as each round progresses. It's like, all right, cool. So we sit down, and everyone's divided in their teams, and there's 5 teams. I was like, 5 teams? That's not bad. Like, I feel like we can easily beat 4 other teams. So the rounds are going on, and there are some softball questions, right? Like, one of the questions was, which non-Jedi character uses a lightsaber in the original trilogy? It's like, oh, Han Solo. That's easy. That's an easy question, right? But there were some hard ones. There's some tough ones that I had to rely on Jacob for. Like, one of the questions that he knew off the top of his head that I would never have gotten was, what does Obi-Wan say is the cargo of the Millennium Falcon to Han Solo during their little chat? And the answer was, myself, the boy, 2 droids, and no questions asked. I knew the no questions asked. Everything before that, I just didn't know. And Jacob
I'm
pulled
shocked.
that out, and I was like,
I'm
"Holy shit!"
shocked, Toby. I'm disappointed in you.
I'm sorry that I don't know every line from every movie, but it was at the rounds are progressing, and he's reading off the scores after each round. And there are questions that have 4 points, some questions have 2 points. So it wasn't like each round you could have a maximum of 10. So after round 1, I think we were in second place. At the end of round 2, we were in third place. And this is when it gets tricky, right? So the third round is the hardest questions. But again, shout out to Jacob. The man just knows his stuff. Like one question was, how many minutes before the Death Star arrived? The first time that graphic shows up for Endor, yeah. And the answer was 15 minutes. Like I did not know that, and Jacob knew that. So there's some tough questions in this last round. And the final question, and I'm going to ask you this question, and I'm curious if you know the answer. Because what we were thinking was not what we were supposed to be thinking. And it was tricky, and I respect the trickiness of this question. But the question was, how many people does Darth Vader kill in the original trilogy? That was the question. I'll give you some time to think.
12.
12. Okay. So you're smarter than me. What we were thinking, and in our heads, we're just thinking he kills Obi-Wan in A New Hope. He chokes out the first general through the TV. He chokes Captain Nita. And
You forgot the X-Wing stuff, didn't you?
I forgot the X-Wing stuff. Yeah. We said 4, and we were confident. We were confident in 4. And then the guy reads it. He's like, the answer was 11. The answer was 11.
Oh, I was off by 1, motherfucker.
And here's the thing, though. So I was feeling super confident in this third round because we turned in our sheets, and he's reading off the answers to each question in round 3. And we were getting every single one. Every single question we were getting right. And I'm looking at all the other teams, and some of them are like shaking their head. They're like hands in their face, like they're getting questions wrong. Like, dude, we won. Like, I'm picking Jacob up. We're like celebrating. We're a little intoxicated. We're just having a good time. And he gets the last question. We're like, this is the one. And a team that we weren't even worried about. This team was being so quiet, just in their own corner. They got that question correct. So they got 5 points, right? We didn't get any points because we were so far off. And we got third place in this thing. We got 4 questions total wrong out of 30. We got third place. We had a total of 34. The second place team had 35, and the first place team had 36. I'm so upset that we lost this game. Like, I was so confident. I felt so good going into it. And even in the third round, I was like, man, we're getting every question right. And we got third place out of 5. Man, Star Wars fans know their shit, man. That's what I learned. Like, this fandom, you cannot take them lightly. Like, they know what they're doing. But it was a blast. I had a lot of fun. Something I'm gonna continue to try to do. Met some cool people. So that's my Star Wars story of the day. It was a great early way to celebrate May the 4th.
Yeah, I almost forgot. It hit me last night while I was watching Moon. I did a watch along with our friends over at Ember Productions of Doctor Strange, and it hit me. I'm like, oh, because it got past midnight. I'm like, oh shit, it's May the 4th. I haven't even set up anything yet. Fuck.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. If you're ever come to the Terre Haute area, I will definitely take you over there. It's a fun place. And they actually just put up an X-Wing arcade machine. It's got like the joystick.
Yeah,
you can freaking shoot TIE fighter. That so much fun. That place is so much fun.
Toby, I got to turn you in when you come to Cleveland. We're taking you to a real city bar.
Oh, okay. I mean, I've been to a bar in my time, but this one just holds a special place because it's in my hometown.
Oh yeah, I get that.
Free unlimited arcade games, like they got trivia, like that's right up my alley. But I just thought I'd share that fun little story to end the show. It's been an hour 24. So this has been a long one.
This has been one of our longer ones.
But we had a lot to catch up on. We apologize for not having this program.
We got to talk merch. We got to talk merch.
That's half the reason that we show up is just talk about toys and shirts and lightsabers and all that fun stuff.
We didn't even
But
talk about shirts, even though we can. But I'm not.
we
I'm not
can
feeling
talk about. We can talk about anything, honestly. But Kenobi is very soon. Soon come. It is what, 4 weeks away, not including this week.
3 weeks away.
3
3
weeks.
weeks away.
So we're very close. We probably won't do a show until that Friday. Expect
Unless
us to do a
something
big.
comes out.
Yes, of course. Expect a lot of celebration coverage. We will do our best to try to do videos as things are announced. I mean, me and Matt both have jobs. Matt has school, or I don't know if
I'm off on that Thursday. I'm gonna try to get off that Friday.
But it's gonna be tough. But expect a lot of videos, specifically the Obi-Wan breakdown of the first 2 episodes. That's happening. Colin will be there for sure. But in terms of announcements, that's just gonna be. Just kind of have to see how it goes, see when we're available as announcements come out. But we're going to do our best. We will do our best because it's definitely stuff that we're going to want to talk about and geek out about with you guys. So with that, thank you for watching. We appreciate your support as always. Please subscribe to the channel. As I said before, like this video, leave a comment, and hopefully we'll see you guys very soon. Kenobi is right around the corner. Get hype. See you guys later.